Sir Black 45, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, glad to be on the show. How you?
I'm all right, brother. I'm glad to have you back. You came on one of our Inception episodes, and you joined in as a special co-host. But now we would like to actually give you the spotlight and actually interview you for your great contributes to the music and the hip hop in Jersey. So there's a lot that you've
Oh
done.
man.
And that's why we
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
get you on. We spoke with Trinidad, we spoke with Broadway. Spoke with Trinidad, spoke with Priority, and Broadway is next, but we got to bring it full circle with Black 45.
Broadway Blake?
Yeah, Broadway Blake should be joining the show hopefully hopefully
Man,
soon. I'm hoping.
I still got a lump on my head from him, man. I don't like hearing that name too much.
Oh man, yeah,
We got a fantasy football beef.
Oh man, that was a crazy way that season ended with your division too. That was a crazy one.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? That was the first. I've been involved in plenty of fantasy football, but I have to say this Daily Heat Check. Man, the competition was fierce. You kept it going. And Piffgate, I definitely want an investigation with this Piffgate stuff going on. But I had a great time, man. Thank you for having me, invite me on that.
No, absolutely, absolutely. That's definitely what we try to to have a good competitive league long, bring a lot of energy, good energy from people we know and bring it collective, full circle. But with the football season and everything amongst us, we'll tap into that later. But I want to really start with you. So let's get the people introduced. So first off, if you're joining in, PifferyGoodz, but the special guest, Black 45. Talk to the people. Tell us how it all came about. Even let's get back as deep as the 45. So Black 45, how did the music come about? Where was the start? Did it start in hip hop? Did it start with the beat battles, the MCing? Bring us full circle. How did MTP come to fruition?
Do the MTP inception, or you want to do the genesis of?
I want to do the genesis of everything, but I try to cram it all in there. So take us for the ride.
All right, I'm gonna give you my best summary. I started, as most people, an avid fan of hip hop music and listening and enjoying everything. Run DMC was like really huge during that era. I'm starting mid 80s to 90s. It was just a beautiful era as far as creativity. Not too much guidance to be like all on one thing. Like hip hop was like a huge spectrum back then. Like you can be dressed this way and that's your lane. You could be the Native Tongues, had that lane, X Clan, Consciousness, you had that, you had the NWA, you had, people that wanted like into it for fashion. So you had multiple forms to enjoy hip hop. And I kind of miss some of that now, even though I see some things growing out of it now. But during that era, it was just the transformation was just full of so much style, flavor, art, and everything. So, but I think I was a huge fan of hip hop, and something began to grow inside of me in terms of, like I love all the KRS Ones, Big Daddy Kane's, your Juice Crews, anybody that was doing anything, and anybody music that came out during that era. I either had your record or tape, mandatory. Like as soon as you drop, I'm going downtown. There was a record store downtown. This one was on Market Street, and it escapes me now, but I bought a big radio from there too. Because they were selling the big, boom boxes, sort of like the DailyHeatChecc logo right there. They would sell the, boxes. So when you buy the box, then whoever tape was out, you could buy their tape because you don't want to walk out the store. And like you want to have your box that you bought with the batteries and everything, the big, D batteries. And when you walk out there, it's important that you blasting off with whoever was hot, whether it's Biz, Rakim. You want to be, doing that. So the record stores is real good with just kind of like having all the items you need. But after a while, just doing it and doing it, I wanted to become more of a part of it. And in Newark, there was a legendary club called Sensations on Halsey Street, 45 Halsey Street to be exact,
Yep.
45 Halsey Street. And we would go there on, and whatever my parents would permit me. And then after a while, I started going down there. Very, cool scene, very dangerous scene. Only club that I ever seen with cars was Triple Park, not, Regular Park, Double Park. We're talking Triple Park. And it was so many hoods from the smallest street block to the projects to whatever was in there. Like so many hoods, so it was very dangerous. So you had to be able to handle yourself and enjoy music at the same time.
Absolutely.
It was good. Now with the history of like Newark and Sensations in hip hop, whoever you was in hip hop, especially, during that era, especially during the 90s, the 80s, 90s, no matter what, whoever you was, Newark was your stop. Sensation was going to be on your tour. Like, you come up here, you in town, you got to do Sensations either that Friday night or Saturday night. They always had something popped off. So, and also a huge house music scene. I have to, they play that as well. But, like I had a moment where I performed my philosophy and, had some shades on. And he was like, the sun is like, like the light beams is shining too hard. Shades off the shades off of my face, and started performing my philosophy. And this was like right after Skylar Rock had got untimely murdered.
Yeah.
We was doing that. And, it was other clubs, but nobody, like in terms of hip hop, where you would actually see the people that you, as a fan, that you can locally go down, pay like $10, $12. You see like Public Enemy, Super Lover Seeking Over Rug, Coogee Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Biz, my man, Cool, was coming through there, Ghetto Boys.
So a lot of history was coming through that door. A lot of history.
Yeah, a lot of people coming through there. So, it was crazy though. Like some people lost their lives too. You know what I mean? Like just sudden pop off, or everybody go to White Castle afterwards. So some of the things that we might experience, even nowadays, we was experiencing that too back then. All the things that come along with it. But Sensations burned down. Don't quite remember the year, but it was a huge void for hip hop, like in Newark or just. We started going over to New York, and we would go to New York, but it just something about being from over this way.
But wait, let me ask a question real quick too, because you did a great bring up, because you said Sensations, what it did for hip hop in Newark, Jersey, and if people who know now could see like the scene really tends or really caters to like New York, not even just for the rappers, but say like the venues. So for a venue like this to be going on as strong as it did for as long as it did in Jersey. Now, like, was that due to the hip hop culture in Jersey? Because, like, there was a lot of big acts from Jersey at the time. So, was that one of the leading forces? Because now something like that, I don't want to say don't exist, but it'd really be hard for it to, like, go. Because, like, New York it's like a bigger market. Like that's probably the best way to put it. So, like how did that really work itself out at that time? Because not to be overlooked. Because it's easy to say it, but when you think about it, like something like that is hard to go now.
What it was, the owners of Sensations, like consistency. They knew they had a great system of every week. No matter where you from, if it was a check to get, you want to get that check, you're going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's New York. No, it's just that here in Newark, like I said, the owners, they made sure you getting paid. So that was like a no-brainer for artists, no matter where they from. Like, okay, well, let's hop in the cars or hop on the train over there and do our show, get our money, and we out. That was especially if you're New York. If you're a New York artist, and especially if you got a crappy deal, your money,
Yep.
and you can do a show, and you know what I'm saying, go get that check and get back, get back across the water. You know what I mean? So sometimes, in most cases, it was great. Good performance and everything, and then sometimes things get messed up. So it's some incidents and everything, but for the most part, incredible hip hop history's been made. But that due to consistency, business, the owners of Sensation, who still own the gold and jewelry store across the street of the new. They built another
Really?
Sensation, but across the street. Yeah, that
Oh, I didn't know
jewelry
that.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah. They the owners. Like they had history. Like they stay right in the area.
Huh.
Oh, he's still there. Yes,
And
sir.
I think as you said that, I heard that, I don't know if it was a rumor or if it was true, but Sensations did open back up briefly, I think a few years ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they built it right across from the original one. They built another one.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't pick up as used to do. It's just like time change, business change,
Yeah.
and just people. You know what I mean? So it wasn't as successful. Wanted to kind of pick off that, but a lot has changed since then. Things
True.
evolved, so
All right.
that's what it was back.
So,
But pretty much after that burned down,
mm,
talk a lot, for hip hop because we didn't really have. Hey, I see everybody blazed up. What up, y'all? Peace, y'all.
oh yeah,
Let's,
man. No
let's
mind
see.
What's
that.
going on?
Yeah, my camera
Mac,
don't
let's
work,
say,
but
okay.
the smoke
What
cast,
up,
it's
y'all?
only right. Mac
All right,
Amazing's in the
I'm with
building.
y'all.
King Jones is in the building, but
Indeed, indeed. Was good, was good.
let's not get sidetracked.
Okay.
4-5. So
So,
no, keep giving us this history tour.
yes, sir. The station got burned down. All right, something happened, and that whole building burned down. We would travel to New York to continue to see artists. We would go to places like California Club,
Mm-hmm.
um, the Muse Tunnel, spot called Home Base.
Mm.
Yeah, these are people like when we would go there. The people like Funkmaster Flex was not in his beginning stages trying to get on, like grinding. So we would just be in there, us enjoying the music, but it didn't feel sensational. Like we would go and do that, but then everybody. I don't know. It's just a different. The water we drink over here is definitely a little something different from when we go over there. So we just do our thing over there, but it was just like it wasn't like home. So eventually, what started happening, I kind of because we always would get into something with some New York dudes or some Brooklyn. It'll always be something, no matter like. But we always would roll deep. Like back then,
Yeah,
you had to roll like 15, 20, and you go in there because you only get
rolled out.
anything jump off, whatever. So
Yep.
it's like things start happening, but thinking like every time after every train ride back, my mind started thinking like, yo, you need to have something over here. And
Mm.
about last, I started, I was MCing a little bit too. Like I'm copying my favorite MCs, so I'm like, yeah, Run DMC.
Wait. Hold up. There was a Black 45 mixtape that hit the streets that we don't know about.
MCing, yeah, it was sick. I think I sold like 2 copies, man. That's wood in the hood. I think I sold 2 copies.
True.
That's good
But
right there. That's good right there.
Yeah.
they had the battle,
Mm.
the Zulu Nation, one of the only ones they gave. I'm gonna get in it. I started like trying to get people to get in or whatever to the battle. We went there, and it was me
Yeah.
and a young brother by the name of Double O.
Oh man,
And
double O.
that's my first time meeting Double O, and he
Oh,
was in that battle.
oh man.
And we was battling everything, and
Hold up. Shout out to Double O, man.
but it wasn't a strong, like a lot of like Zulu Nation kind of came through with all of they. So we like, Dad, we right here in our own backyard, and we ain't getting like no cheers and nothing.
Yeah.
I never building, so that was like crazy. So thinking about it again, I'm like, nah, we gotta do something. We gotta do something about it. So started linking up, but I picked up this flyer spot called the Pipeline in North. Started going down there, and every Wednesday we spinning hip hop. And so that whole like Boom Squad, all of them, Jerry Gant is like a world renowned famed graffiti artist. His name Too Nasty Dash. He's from Newark, so he used to write graffiti on the wall.
Mm.
And he would be in a zone like, we see graffiti like me and my man Josh.
Yeah.
You'd be looking at the wall like, how do you get that on the brick and lay it down like that? And so with the hip hop culture, like we was all like, I'm getting back to that story, but before I even met him, my man Josh used to do graffiti. I used to always be a lookout. I used to always be like, yo, cops coming, yo, bring them. And so he's like, but I always wanted to get up. Like once he finished his piece.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started writing Black 45.
So wait, the 45 was from the beginning. That was just, how did the 45 come about? I know we're digressing, but.
No, that was through graffiti and like 5% attributes. You know what I mean? Like it's born to love of knowledge. You know what I mean? Born to love all languages, creating knowledge. And for culture, you know what I mean? Culture power. You know what I mean? So those all add up, and that's all through like science of like 5%, because during that time it had a huge and powerful impact on hip hop in such a powerful way, and I loved it, and something that I'd identified with. Just and it was intelligence coming from people that look like me. Prior to that, we was coming out of public school systems where we was like, yeah, George Washington, a great person, didn't look like you, so you kind of like hip hop is so important because it really that came to fruition. You know what I mean? Doing stuff like that during that time. But Nas, the graffiti writer, we got into like a little battle. Like he started battling my man. So my man would put up something. Night we'll be walking to school, like like how Batman will come out or something. This joke will come out and spark up something ill on the wall, like just for us, like you're trapped. He'd be like, you are trapped inside my reality or something, and had like 80 different colors, like killing us. Oh man, dude was ill. But then I met him in person, and all these people, legendary people, are guidelines to like hip hop and do's and don'ts and creativity and all that good stuff. But these people when I went to the Pipeline, like, oh, we didn't know who he was. We was battling, doing stuff, and he was writing stuff, and he like, oh, you Too Nasty Dash. And the next thing you know, we started like, building, and next thing you know, friendship, brotherhood came together. But Porn, Pipeline, North was so instrumental because his name's Emilio. Opportunity. Hey, y'all do hip hop night on Wednesday, punk rock night Thursday, this night, and the community didn't want him to do hip hop. Like at that time, that guy, like
but
nobody want to do it.
Why was that?
It's like little incidents, like jokers would come through
Oh, the bullshit that came with it.
Like fights, shootings,
Mm.
violence, and the pipeline.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
pipeline
crazy.
was located and was right around the corner from the Crompton Avenue.
Mm.
And let me tell you, even though the projects was there, that community was the probably the lifeline in terms of support. And when we talk about MCs from Newark right now in North Newark, is because it's directly, like in terms of like when we talk about the battle MCs right now, is because of the influences of the pipeline back then in North Newark, because they had a place to go, get on stage, coach skills, bring their family, bring their fans, influence. And if you can do that consistently every year, you grow. The north side has some dope MCs, and it just grew, and then that just spread all over Newark. But yeah, that we had like a 7-year run out of that. We did pipe from about 90, right after Sensations Club, about 93 to 99. You know what I mean?
That's a strong run.
Yeah, and so they was established, like Porn, it was there, Tame, L, Artifacts, and I just started going, and then I started there and working with the brothers, and the South. I'm from the South Ward, Slab and Weekway, that whole area over there. So I'm coming from over there, job on the time. So when I would get off work, second shift, I'm going there 11 at night, hip hop in. So yeah, so when and so we had people like the Group Home come through there, J. Rooted Damager doing their times. Lauren Hill, Prize and them just hanging out. Red Man to come through there. Diesel Don, Governor.
So y'all built the
Artifacts.
community.
Yo, so it was so much consistency back then, bro. There was so much consistency, man. That's the big difference from then and now, man. Damn, that's like the era you talking about is like a real golden era of hip hop, bro, for Jersey. Real shit.
Absolutely, and I think definitely we not only was we playing that hip hop of that era, but then you're starting to see the artists of that era kind of trickle in. So, and then if you're artist, see, it was like the perfect trifecta, like to have my favorite artist here, and I get to rock, because every night we would always do a cipher. Be a cipher on stage, it'd be a cipher outside, it'd be everything. So we just had the only difficult part about that is, like, the buses stopped running at a certain time on that side of town, but that was crazy. Biggest birth, the important moment happened at the pipeline. I developed a program out of there that I did every year for about 5-6 years. It was called Lyrical Combat. And that was an MC battle that I gave every year. Battle you can be from wherever and battle it out, and we would have a winner, and you won for that year. I'll come back the next year, have another battle. People involved in that battle, like my man RD from North Newark, Railroad Gutter won. He won one. Sliver Decision, that was an ugly night in there too, because it was like projects and and Billy Rose, he was going by Youngblood during that time, but he battled. It was like a decision.
Yeah, he's doing his thing down south too right now.
Yeah, like incredible artists. So
he's doing his thing,
this is where they start at. You know what I mean? Like they all was like, youngins coming in, just trying to get in, and came in there, was doing it. So I'm proud of all of their efforts, because it wasn't easy, especially if you're from a whole nother side of town and you believe in yourself so much that I'm willing to go anywhere with my talent. That says a lot. It speaks volumes as an artist. And I say that because when you look at the battle circuit now, it's like it's a direct connection. Like, you know, it's like the roots is there. You know what I mean? Like my man Hazy Rule, he was a baby. He was a battle. Like he was in there battling, getting it in, doing his thing. Like he's doing it. And then he evolved and did his like he's doing his thing on that whole battle scene. I was like floored. I was like, yo, this is incredible. You know what I mean? So and I was glad to see, because people sometimes think like, would I feel some kind of way? Because when you do things, you do like you want to inspire. Somebody can take something that I produce, or somebody produced it where I can be enlightened. That's what it's all about. That's what life is all about, giving and doing the right thing and moving forward. So that was huge to see so many people like that came out of things that I might have produced or done, just to be doing anything. That's what it's all about. It's like giving, you know?
True.
And so that's pretty much, you know, you up to about 90, you up to about 97. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, which is it a couple more, you know, some more things to ask, or what you want me to roll it through?
You know, we could start with the MTP now, you know, because the history is so strong with the hip hop, as far as with Jersey, from what you just explained, and with the community too. So, you know, I think that's great info and history for the podcast, just so anyone who ever doubted that said history didn't Jersey don't support, you know, because you know they say that, but when you clearly told the story that Jersey was supporting Jersey clearly for over 5+ years, you know, in a very active hip hop scene where prominent rappers would come out and support as well. So, you know, it's just deeper than just community. We had actual artists who were on and established coming to show support. So I find that to be a great bring out. But now tell us about how the production side come to fruition, because
absolutely.
You know, because just knowing that you created a rap battle and then a successful production battle is, you know, this is just history within itself, you know. Black 45.
Yeah, and it's crazy because along with the MC battle, I was doing DJ battle too. So I would have MC battle one year, and same year I would have the DJ battle, and that's how me and Just Blaze, you know, maybe became you know, real close, you know, friends, duo, doing our thing. Like when I was the MC, Just Blaze was like my DJ, like the beat maker, like he was doing that. And so I would go drive out to the crib in Patterson, you know, mom, beautiful mom, family, everything. And, you know, he's a hard worker. Like, you know, it's no mystery to, you know, where he's at with it now. He love the keyboards, love the records, love the digging. And we would just go to the crib and he put it together. But I started doing the DJ battles, and he was, you know, he loved DJing and scratching, like all the things he's doing now. He always loved doing that stuff. So, you know, video games and all that, that's him. He was, you know, I gave a DJ battle. He was in it. You know, I brought legendary Cool Herc. You know, he's bringing them out. He's bringing these people, like anybody that was in, like the originators and founding fathers. I was always big on making sure that I paid homage, to, like, you know, get close to the source as possible. And so we brought Cool Herc out to Newark, you know, North New Jersey, and he had a good time. And, you know, we developed a great friendship. And the legendary Rock Raider, you know, walked through like, you know, nothing, came, did his thing, performed. Rest in peace to him. Executioners, you know, Rob Swift, all the, you know, legendary DJs. And we was doing that as well. So that grew. 89 Take 9 by Beto. And, you know, a lot of y'all probably be familiar with it, but it was very prominent, like probably one of the best radio stations as far as for hip hop on the East Coast that you can get. You know what I mean? Rare Gems and the New York stuff and the Jersey stuff. So we was getting up there too. So, but at one time he let Large Professor come on the show. Large Professor straight up brought his MPC. No, I'm sorry, he brought an SP-1200. Let me be clear, he brought an SP. He started playing beats. And people was up there rhyming, might have been OC, telling, it was a couple, and I still got the tapes. And I was like, that's so ill. Like, dad, he right there in the studio with the SP-1200 banging them out. Like, like, and I'm like, wow, I'm like listening to it. And, they did it a couple of other times. And so I partnered in a studio business called Beat Ups. And it was out of Kearney. And right next to the restaurant where the famed restaurant from The Sopranos, it's like a Sal's shop site. And a lot of the artists was coming through recording. It was going well, but we wanted to give an event, for producers. And what we came up with, I think the name of that show was called Legal Beats, because I befriended an attorney named Darryl Gibbs, good friend. We would go back and forth to New York. I met him through the Wonder Twins, who used to, they was ahead of their time in terms of like, they used to have this magazine, they would network and build up with artists and everything. They have this whole networking thing. But I met this attorney, music attorney through there. He turned out to be the manager for Organized Confusion, like kicking in everything. So I told him, like, because we started hearing about getting ripped off now. We started hearing more about artists coding these contracts. They can't move a certain way. So we wanted to kind of empower people on the Jersey side or whoever would come through, just get that knowledge about things. And so we did it. We was at the African Globe. I still have a bunch of old flyers. But we had a beat battle. It was like my man Ox from Trenton was in it. Marlito, he was in there, Self, and a couple other, a couple people. They, everybody was like playing tracks. And something interesting about that time too. When I start looking at photos and whatever videos, the whole like gang culture in Newark. Yeah. I'm like, dang, everybody in here. Like at one point, I had a whole wave. I didn't even peep it, because sometimes when you enter your work so much and you want to give a good show that you didn't peep like the scene. Like sometimes the scene and you don't really get into it. And so I looked at a picture and one side was all blood and one side was all crip. I have a huge picture. And they were segregated too. Like it was, I think now is a kind of a time where communication and language is a little better, where we kind of coexist. Yep. But it was like at a time where it was like everybody over there, it was like one color, and I was like, oh, what, what? We're looking back at it. But a lot of these people that was in that culture was all friends of mine. They just made a choice to, like, I'll be talking to people regularly, and I'm like, yo, okay, dang, so you OG or whatever, like, okay, all right, how's that going for you? Like, all right, you know what I mean? But they was already my peoples. But with the beat battle, we was doing that. About 3 or 4 of them. They was cool. And then when we fast forward, I linked with, I'm trying to remember, they had the National Political Hip Hop Convention in Newark. And that was big. sometimes, like I said, I be all plugged in doing things, and people still come like, you don't know what you did or what you mean for this, but I was just like doing it, like, because I love doing it. And that's what I met Priority, Max Jerome, a lot of good people there. And from there, like, I was always like the plug, like, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. Because let it be known, too, Newark was terrible in terms of opening doors for hip-hop venues and functions for people to do things. Like, well, no, can't do that. And we started, it was like a huge prejudice where, the jeans, the baggy jeans or whatever, you had to like look a certain way to get let in clubs. It was like that segregation. You wasn't getting in, so it was like you can be yourself. You can, if you had talent, come on in, be yourself. As long as you ain't, come on in and enjoy yourself, promote your artist. Do you, and let's grow. So, Flavor. It was a bar. We started, I think, the first MTP. When we put that together, I was involved, Priority, and myself, and we just started putting it together. And the blend worked well because, Max, he had a DJ background, the website. He's a journalist as well. So he has, his network, beat maker. He a good, overall good dude, great dude. Relationships, and he was coming from like the Patterson side, which I had background moving with Just Blaze over there. Already knew of me. Up in Montclair, spot called Speakeasy Sounds, doing producer events. Wasn't beat battling out. Producers would come through, like my man Coach. He used to have this ASR 10. If you're familiar, like with like production, and he would have the keyboard, had to stick that disc, the floppy disk in, and he'll be playing his tracks. Then he would invite some more to play tracks, and I'll be hosting. And MCs would just be spitting over the live beats. And so we had a run up in Montclair for like 10 years. You know what I mean? Just on 8 Park Street Studios, I think they call it the Meat Locker now. But he was in there banging out just, hip hop events or whatever. But when me, Max, and Priority got together, I think during that time period, our networks really, we had a lot to offer each other, like stepping in anybody's lane, Newark and, spots, the venues. Max had the hardware, the speakers, party turntables. He was like real technical, like he knew, he was like the plug in, plug out, you know what I mean? So we put this, we started flying with this beat battle thing. And I was always into like battles, competition battles. People, I always felt like compete, the better it would make them. And people always want to know who number one is. You know what I mean? Like, you doing it, but, people want to know, like, damn, he high, he got tracks. Or sometimes you let you know, I got to go back to the drawing board. It was, it was ill, man. It was ill because we set the stage. The people that came through there, Gary, gotta shout them all out. Got love for all of them. Wherever they come from, it was incredible for so many incredible action lovers and lovers of the culture, and do it. And I just wish more of them could, like get that big break, because it's so well deserved. Work and digging and sacrifice that it takes, and but easy just to see producers lined up, like 6 lined up. Now, we ain't talking about battles where you bring your CD, or you had to come to Newark with your MP. Equipment like that, man. Somebody goes, that's the first. Some producers didn't want to come because they thought they was gonna get stuff like you know what I mean. Not everybody, but I can understand. It was a concern. One thing for sure about any event, celebrate. No one ever lost their life. Got robbed. Might have been like a hit over the head with a beer. We don't count like get hit in the head with beer mugs and stuff like that. That's we don't count that. You get a bottle broken over your head. Yeah, we don't count that. But no, I'm very thankful that no one, it's safety, because everything that I do and that we did was with purpose. You had to have a purpose for what you're doing. You know what I mean? So dudes will come through and they would bang out, play tracks. Some dudes was ready. Some dudes wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Some dudes came through with trash. Some came through with some heat. Some came through with that fire. You know what I mean? And you can see it. I mean, I just appreciate a producer. It takes a lot for you to create your space and go out in the world and just like, yo. So, shout out to, Mr. Piffery himself. He's definitely a veteran. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to make some MTP veteran hats, Veterans Day. Because, he's definitely yourself and trash. Yeah, you know what I mean? Mint Plus.
Yeah.
Def Dom, you know what I mean? Rugged and Raw. It was like crazy. Like,
Natus.
It was so crazy. Yeah, Natus on
Young Rock.
Yeah, Young Rock, champion, another champion. And what's the young boy? King Sean from Patterson.
Cappy Cool.
Cappy, yeah, like salute, man. Like this, like when you start mentioning them names, it just make me want to go like this. You know what I'm saying? Because I salute them and I had the utmost respect for them because I know that they put heart into them beats, and in my heart, like they can bend some of the best dudes that's already established out there at the top with some of them snares, kicks, and you know what I'm saying. So that movement, man, it's like it was a very special time, and even though I'm mentioning the 3 people, like the producers, Koopy was doing like the flyers. It took everybody loved it, was willing to contribute. Avani, the Illy P, the illest publicist out of New York, she got involved. We did some Dilla stuff, and it was like I forgot my man's name. He let us rock at the spot in North Newark. He had a studio. You been in that studio when we did it in North Newark?
Yeah, I think that was on Clay Street.
Right for a spot. Yeah, and it's like you would never think something like that was there, but he was over there rocking for a while. Yeah. So he's in Florida now.
Oh wow!
But I know I've been around to and that's another thing. Before MTP, I think over there at because I don't like to leave anybody out. The New Eurekan Poets Cafe.
Yep.
PA. They used to have the beat battles there, and again, from us going places and that void that we didn't have things like that in Newark, we was like, nah, we gonna, we ill. And we used to be like in New York, like, man, nah, man, ain't nobody over there ill, like, and we would do it, you know what I mean? And so we would go over there. I don't know. I guess when I'm telling you, when these dog faces come in, sometimes, man, you go to some of these spots and you see jokers just start looking at you like, nah, I don't know, man. But start like fronting, but I don't know what it is. But we go over there like, nah, man, he should have won. Nah, that's some old bull. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we get up out of here with that. But we was doing our own thing too. Like we ain't gonna sit around and complain. We just gonna come. We gonna build it ourselves. So, and that's what we did. But I give thanks to spots like my man Rocky. That's his name, my man Rocky. From New Eurekan Poets Cafe, because not only was he doing it there, he was a huge supporter of MTP. He would come out to the beat battle and J Smooth. Judge Blaze even popped up at one in Park Street, show his support and play some rare gems that what he was doing. So Ill Mind, another one, come out and show big time. That was crazy. I mean, crazy time, man. Headphones, technical. I think MTP probably ran through. We probably had about maybe 5 to 6 different locations too for MTP, because again, it goes to show you, like, when one's door closes, like, we had to roll and find another location to have it. So I'm still, we still gotta get together, because I definitely would love to see, like, we gotta do some reunion years or something, because that was a blast, and I'm a family man too. Like, we have children, seeds and everything, so we was doing a lot of this stuff, but you have to be careful, because you keep putting it all into everything, and grinding. Eventually it's got to add up too. Like, what I mean? It's simple math. Like, if it ain't adding up, or it ain't turning over no checks, you coming home like 1 in the morning talking about beat battle. You better go to bed. But hey, yo, the beat battle was so dope, man. Yo, what? So, like, nah, the reality too. Like, them producers, man, and like families, people need, sacrifice and everything. It's like blood, sweat, and tears. So I know when you talk about it, it's crazy though, man. But yeah, MTP is ill, man, real ill.
Damn, no, absolutely. So now, I want to know, like, how did it fade out, and now, and when I say that, because when we look at the current day culture with rap battles and how it evolved into such a business, a sport. I've heard people call it an e-sport, and I just always sat back and I was like, wow, the production battles was 10 years ahead of this. Like, this, like the format and everything. And now to see, like, like, do you think it'll ever come full circle, or what was the like the needle that broke the camel's back in this situation that really made the beat battles die out when rap just took over so much?
I think let's talk. Let me take the rap battle side. In one of the battles, where when I would give the battle, it would be the two MCs, right? They battle each other, and I'll be like, "Yeah, you ready? You ready? All right, throw that beat on." They'll battle over the beat, and so, all right, boom. Did he win or did he win? Crowd would decide. And we move on, right? And then we come up again. Yo, throw that beat on, DJ. Throwing another track, ill track. The MC had to listen to it, catch it, kill it. But something happened. The MC said, nah, turn that shit off. And did an acapella. So that, at one point during that battle, the MC, when he said acapella, that was C. Wise. He was the first winner of Lyrical Combat. And he closed it out with an acapella. And so it worked in his favor because people heard him clearly without music. And, it was a defining moment because what he said was important. And that moment was important. But the growth of that, it kind of taught other MCs. Now everybody want to run with it now. And he did it, his purpose for doing it, because he had something to say. It was something strong and important. But other people start having their music cut off because they wasn't skillful enough to rhyme over a beat. And so it started developing. And so after a while of my battles, it was nothing for MC be like, no, turn that off. Give me an acapella. They couldn't even say Acapulco. Couldn't even say that. They was like, give me Acapulco. And so they did that. Use of music, lessened the use of a DJ. So things started becoming more obsolete. So now, when you look at the battles nowadays, where's the music? It's no music. You know what I mean? It's no music. It's just, I'm going to spit this hard stuff. I'm going to go at you, find out where your mom work and your sister and all this. I'm going to say all type of disrespectful stuff. To get at you, and, you know, and that's where it's at with it. But once you start stripping, like once you have something strong, like a strong cup of coffee, you start diluting it, you know, milk, sugar, weaken it, you strip something great down. And I don't think we did a good enough job in protecting the integrity of certain things of the art. And unfortunately, in our culture, even as Black people, we have so many incredible things that we have historically that we developed, but it just tear it down so quick. The value system, like we depreciate in value after a while. Like an MC come out, you can be dope as you know what, but you depreciate the value over the years. So that's where I think, in terms of like the MC and how it's turned into a business with this, like that you know how it is now. You said it, but you said it's like a sport now.
Yeah.
The MC, it's like so that's where it's at with it. But it's good, you know. And I'm also a huge fan of it. Like I love seeing like you know the big time battles. Go at it and say those things. I hope that it grows. I don't know where. I don't know what direction that's going to go in. I have a huge ideal to take it to another level. There's something I don't want to back on it too much, but I'm like researching it. But yeah, man, it's that's where that went. And as far as you know, with the beat battle and MTP, like I'm trying to like scratch my head with it, but you know, it's a lot to like produce events and shows, and MTP was a real technical, like, you know, equipment, plugs, people got to drive their cars, car insurance. Like, you got to look at the fact, even though we put this big show out in front of you and we make it look easy and it's all smiles and everybody kind of get the beats going, like, you know, registration fee, we might say, yo, you got to pay $25 registration fee to get in, but people don't want to, you know, unfortunately, they don't want to pay for nothing. And it get rough. Like I said, math takes over anything. Like I'll always tell people, nature will take over. Like nature will run its course with anything. Like don't think you're going to be able to bang them beats, and you got a family to feed, and like nature will take its course. So eventually you're going to bang out and be successful, start grabbing checks or do something, or your family gonna, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have some serious decisions to make. And so I just think MTP ran its course in terms of you know, that trifecta of myself, Max, and Priority. Like, you know, we all have destiny. Like we all got different paths too as well. So it's like getting it together to make it happen, seeing, you know, being all on the same page. It's rare to have anybody more than 3 or 4 people, like, you know, on the same page nowadays. You know, like, you know, eventually it'll come to like, okay, you know, even famous groups, you know what I mean? it's either gonna be some type of split or something. The only thing is, like, I still have the utmost respect and love for the brothers, for making history or doing something, like putting something together like that. So it's just a matter of we was doing it because we love doing it. You know what I mean? And that's the best thing about anything. You should be able to do something because you love doing it, and you would do it like at a drop, even drop of a dime. I'm doing that. I'm doing some hip hop. I'm doing the beat battles, but something has to pick up, like the revenue, the support of it. Like when you have something rare like that, like the people, like you got to lift things up. You got to have an incredible support system to keep things going. And so it's got to be full circle. It's got to be, you can't just take. I got this. I take, and never give back. And it died out. So that it didn't go full circle enough to keep that thing going. But it went full circle enough to be to establish prominent producers, legendary moments, and all that good stuff. So, and it was inspiring. Like, it's people that that have done beat battles, and I think Mint Plus and them just gave a beat battle or something. I don't know if it was a beat battle. They gave some type of producer show. I seen the advertisement for it. Yeah. So it's good. It makes me feel good to know that Self is doing a lot of stuff too. Can't forget about the Armory Tavern, where they started doing that too. Wow. They started bringing they started bringing the beats and stuff over that way too. And so, all at the end of the day, as long as you can be part of someone's inspiration, or someone's purpose to push this thing to the next level, you've done your job. You know what I mean? I'll get out the fast right now. I need to step out the fast lane and let all my young bulls do it. You know what I mean? I've been on the blackboard, writing and teaching and doing that. Let them young bulls, move this thing forward, and take the driver's seat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, look at you. I mean, you got some bangers out there. You know what I'm saying? Like this Daily Heat Check. I really need to have this on a hoodie or something. But I don't know. I don't know if you want to go that far with this, but I would, definitely wear it. I'm extremely proud about this and all of your accomplishments, man. Because it means it's life. You know what I mean? That lets me know that things I do, like, people I'm affiliated with, but it's not all in vain. Like, you are who your friends are. You know what I mean? Dang, Piff, yeah, that's my man. He got some beats, right? Yeah, he hot. You know what I'm saying? So that I light up right away. You know what I'm saying?